That just never gets old.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I thought I was just playing around with some images and for the cover, and yeah, I mean, why not? Like Independence Day just happened. A couple Canadians that don't really celebrate Independence Day. Probably the best way that we know how is to buy into blockchain and decentralization, because that's what freedom should be about, really, right? Like, I mean, it has been too long. It's been a while. How are you? Like, how are things? I mean, we're busy as fuck, and it's the bear market, and it's weird that we get more busy. The more bearish people become, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I was looking at the market, the market cycle thing, right? Like just Google Wall Street cheat sheet, the thing comes up or whatever, right? And it basically shows the sort of the market sentiment at each point in a cyclical chart. And I think, based off of what I see outside of our, DAO family and like our partner projects or whatever, because like we're like basically telling Entropy to go fuck itself every single day, right? Like the projects that are partnering with us, all the people that are working on the DAO every day, like the entire Uplift community that's in our Discord, constantly grinding out ideas and fleshing them out and doing DAO votes, yada yada, right? Like we're thumbing our nose at the whole thing. So take all of those things outside of this, and what you see in the market is some despair, a lot of anger, right? And there's just tons of that, right? So, and I think we go from anger to sort of like full on capitulation, and then we'll start working our way back up, right? But we get to kind of sit outside of that and ignore it. And while all that stuff's going on, I was going to share my screen actually. This is what we were working on yesterday. So we got little Twitter QR codes for every single partner project, and there's a few partner projects.
Just a few.
Yeah,
not that many.
It's like for those few people that are like trying to pretend like I'm just fucking sitting around on my ass all day, like fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm excited. Really so if you happen to be new, right? Like this is just the two worlds that are about to. Well, I guess they're launched, but they're not like full-fledged launched. Like there's people in there. They're building, their embassy plots. But we've got I guess a creative and a survival world sale coming up on the 16th of July. Where people will actually be able to go in and get themselves a piece of land in the Uplift World that comes in the form of an Ethereum-based NFT, which is pretty fucking exciting, man. That's like, and I mean,
happy 6th of July. I don't know what that means, and I don't care. I love it.
I mean, it means a lot to me, by the way. But stop spying on me, Lawrence.
What does the 6th of July mean? Other than the fact that it's your birthday.
Yeah, well, it could be that. That's exciting. So yeah, if you ever need to, assume my identity for anything, now you all know.
Now you all know.
My missus is quite talented when it comes to painting, and a few years ago she made me this awesome coffee mug that she painted, some almost like Aztecian or Mayan, sun designs on, and fired it herself. And she gave it to me, and like I remember one of the first streams that we were doing, Corey, like a couple of years back. I was drinking out of that coffee cup, and I realized that my birthday was on it, and it freaked me out. I'm like, damn it! Now people know when I was born. But like, I mean, dude, honestly, it's nuts. Like, I hope people are okay, but like, we've been getting reports of, some shenanigans coming through recently. One of the people that we're quite, fond of in our ecosystem, he sucks, but he actually fell, for a phishing attack.
Who was that again?
I think it was the music dude, the B, what's his name? It's not B-Dub, but yeah, I'll remember in a minute.
Okay. Either way, that sucks.
But yeah, it really sucks. And I mean, he managed to get one of his plots back, I think, but like the rest of them are all just sitting there. So just be careful out there, right? Like people are always trying to scam you out of your money, which isn't good at all.
It is not. It is not. Anyway, speaking of it having been too long. I'm grateful to be back on the show with Jimmy. All right. What are you grateful for?
Yeah, I'm grateful for the serenity of chapter 2. Because, I mean, it's crazy. I find myself looking at, I'm probably never going to be able to do a show again because you're going to get all pissy at me now, Corey. I found myself looking at, like, you know, Ethereum NFTs sometimes these days.
Me too. He's like, I like, you know, obviously like getting into these projects, like part of the whole thing about, you know we wanted to drop on ETH finally, right? And like, yes, you know, I said we never would, and I was fucking wrong. Like, you're welcome. So yeah, I mean that, you know, looking at all the different projects or whatever, and you know, like I think I grabbed a couple, like Magic Mind. I had one just because they, you know, knew Rocket Gallery, so I kind of connected to them through that way and actually met them just off of the shitcoin the last time. So that was fun, right? They're actually meeting the artists in the community or whatever. That was cool. But then like the I'm a DGen thing, like those 3D things, like that just sparked something in me. Like there's a utility there that just makes a whole shit ton of sense to me. I think I saw Sebastian playing around with his Void from I'm a DGen in like Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that. And I was like, what? So I got a couple of those, and then you find out that like they're making these little like freaking, you know, monster things, and like the 3D objects for those aren't out yet. So I'm like, well, these are stupid cheap, and like that's some free alpha. So like scrap some of those. Yeah, they're having a moment now. Apparently, I am a DGen cats, which I don't know, makes sense to me. So you know, yeah, there's there's 5 times more volume going on Ethereum. Maybe not now, but like a month ago when I was looking at it. 5 times more volume going on Ethereum than all the other chains combined, dollar-wise, right? And, you know, at the end of the day, we need to bootstrap some revenue. So we're going to Ethereum, and then we're going to Solana, and then we're going to Cardano, maybe. And then, I don't know, we're going all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, fuck Baxalism. Because, like, I think that's the most important thing about what we do here, right? Like, we're here to try to connect people, worlds, right? And it's like, I don't know, man. I get annoyed about the same things that I do in the real world as I do in the crypto world, right? And it's funny because I think a lot of people come into the crypto world and they don't realize that like they're hypocrites, because what they were saying sucked about the real world is the same thing that they're saying that sucks about crypto. Now, I think there's a lot of things that are, you know, pretty shitty about crypto that don't exist in the real world. Like, I mean, there are some rules and regulations and laws that like can't be skirted, or you would, you know, end up, you know, paying for it, which I think is good, but we've got a long way to go. Right. And I think like we need to get to that place where, you know, we're looking at the world that we can bring into crypto as opposed to looking at the world that we can steal from other chains, because that's just fucking stupid. And we had this conversation the last bear market, right? Like we had this exact same freaking conversation. I mean, of course we were, you know, sitting in other blockchains at the time, but it's just ridiculous. Like it just does my head in, man.
Yeah. Fuck maximalism. I guess the other thing too that sparked up. So we got some. I don't know if you guys can hear that. We got some people working on our hot water heater. Decided to explode last night. Didn't really explode. Just leaked out everywhere.
It was off, but the temperatures in Miami are so hot that the water was boiling inside anyway.
Yeah, sure, something like that. But yeah, I mean, so crypto having some of the same issues as the sort of quote unquote real world or whatever, right? Like we're all a bunch of humans doing this stuff, and so of course it's going to echo, right? Like the more people that come in with, you know, a particular mindset, you know, whether it's Wall Street or sort of, you know, old timey traditional business or whatever, like the echoes of that are going to come in here, and they're going to contrast and, you know, basically go to war with the ethos that started the whole thing, right? Like the decentralization and, you know, the idea that we can have sovereignty over our stuff. And ultimately I think that means sovereignty over all of our data, but like that, you know, there's an entire you know, I don't know, like trillions and trillions of dollars worth of market momentum for the old system, and a couple $100 billion for you know, for this one, for the new one. So it's interesting to see them sort of go into combat, and it's really fun that the new way survives it, because it shouldn't, right? Like nothing with the amount of momentum as you know, the traditional financial markets, we shouldn't be able to beat that at all. And the fact that it has survived and year over year over year thrived is critical. Like that's the key point, right? There you go. I don't know about changing the world. I think we already have. But I think it's I think Lawrence, I think it's super smart to think that way anyway, right? I mean, because it can be a much it's too big of a problem to envision trying to change the entire world. But you're right, we could totally change ours. And I think we're doing that every day, which is super fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, you know, what happens. So actually, we've got something. I think we've got something hopefully coming up next week that should be exciting. Speaking of, I think next week, in anticipation of this next sale on Ethereum, we're going to start bringing on a few different guests. Corey and I used to do this over on the Rider channel, and we always quite enjoyed it. You know, we'd have a panel of 4 or 5 guests, and we would have a topic, and we would, you know, talk about various things. And we did that for like, you know, close to a year, and it was some of our highest rated shows, some of the ones that people like the best. But like, we just got busy doing our own thing, and you know. Now Corey had this idea that like next week, what we should do is we should bring in like, you know, 2, 3, or 4 guests, even a panel of guests that are from our Ethereum based communities that are going to be, you know, kind of headlining, well, what you saw in the dome earlier, and just have a conversation around metaverses, around blockchain, around crypto, all of these things. So we're hoping that this should be quite a entertaining week coming up, having all of these brilliant people on stream. We've kind of saw a little bit in a couple of the Twitter spaces, but I think it's different when it's on video, you know?
Yeah, I agree, man. Sorry, that's like, can you guys hear that?
Yeah, and it sounds like the you know,
stuff going on.
Sounds like the fudders drilling out the.
You know what? Actually, likening FUD to a root canal, make like that. I feel that a lot. It's like, and I mean, just like the inventive bullshit that they come up with sometimes is really amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I think I like it too. Like because you know, when I get back to Canada, I'm gonna have a little bit more free time on my hands, and I have a project that I'm going to take down. But that's Corey knows, and we'll deal with that later. But I don't like when people play in the same space as me, and you know, that I don't like. That I don't trust, because I'm in this for the right reasons. Corey's in this for the right reasons as well, and so I'm watching things very carefully. I'm listening to things very carefully, and I'm pretty, you know, forgiving of people. And I think that there's 2 ways that you can see FUD in the crypto space. There's the like, oh, I'm getting my ass kicked, so I just want everyone else to feel bad about it, or there's like constructive criticism. Right. And I think we're actually pretty good at listening. Like there's some people that like come into our Discord that have been in our Discord for a long time, and they say, hey, wait, like this doesn't make sense. Why do we do it this way? Or why can't we do it this way?
I freaking love that.
Right. And we're able to actually take that and, you know, fix problems or make the ecosystem better for people. Right. So
right. Especially now that there's a DAO, like if people, right, even if people have ideas that like, because it like before it was like, you know, the conversation was, it was slanted, right? Because like, you know, we've always taken on community ideas, and the good ones we ran with, and that was always really fun, right? But like before, if somebody was offering an idea and like I, for example, just didn't agree with it, right? And I could give all the reasons and yada yada yada, and they were like super adamant, no, you really need to do this or whatever. Like the answer was like, that's a good story, but no, right? But now those conversations are like, I don't agree with that. And it doesn't matter, right? Like whip up a DAO proposal, have people workshop it, see how much community support you can get, and run with it, right? Most people never do, because most people just, like, ideas are dog shit, execution is everything, right? And like that applies to me more than anyone, right? There's a reason why I keep repeating that, and it's because I have lots of ideas. Most of them never happen, right? So execution is everything. Most people will just like think about it and like they want to have an opinion, but they don't want to do the work. Great, right? And like people coming in and wanting to have all sorts of opinions when they sold their DAO tokens 5 seconds after we lost them. Like, thanks for your thoughts, right? Honestly, like, they went from like I really care to like, thanks, right? Because I mean, this is like the people that are actively part of the DAO, like they're superheroes to me, and they're acting like it. And we aren't always going to agree, but now like we have a function for that. Like we just have a way to channel that energy. And if if somebody comes up with a DAO proposal and gets community support behind it, and meets quorum and yada, like I'm not gonna vote against that, right? If it's got popular support from our community, right? Like that's incredible. Like, cool, do it. Prove me wrong. I actually really genuinely dig that.
I'm usually quite late to vote, to be honest. I mean, just because I like to, let other people weigh in. But I also think that like there's not that many proposals out there that I am. There's proposals out there that I would never vote yes for, but I still vote to push them through quorum because, I think it's important that people have that voice, right? Like there's one up there now that's like kind of like, increase the damage in Borvalis. And I don't really have that many lands in Borvalis, and I'm more interested in seeing the land's value. Sorry, the damage in Gratitude not turned down, right? But I can see why other people in other servers would want to, make it more difficult, right? So I think it's interesting that we're starting to kind of see not just proposals of people, but like people rallying behind, the areas that they've kind of based themselves in the Uplift, right? Like we've got all of these various wax servers, right? You got these people that are coming in with these ideologies about what they want to do with Gratitude, what they want to do with Borvalis, what they want to do with Genesis, right? Those are the three main proposals, right? I think there was a proposal not so long ago that was like talking about how we could just basically turn, Genesis into a server that essentially didn't get rewards, right? And that would be like our open server for the public that people could come and see, right? Like I know how I will vote if it goes through, right? Like, but like I just think it's interesting that people can have a voice, and the discussions around it that are happening in the Discord are quite, fascinating as well, right? So, I mean, I think most people on our team are kind of either voting, with a smaller percentage of the wallet, or they're voting, after people have said their thing for the exact reason that you're saying is like, I don't want people to follow my vote. Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, Jimmy voted that, so I'm going to vote that. Or Corey voted that, so I'm going to vote that, right? Like, I always find it actually fascinating going through and seeing, what various people on our team have voted for, because we've voted different percentages for different things as well, right? So it's quite interesting, right? And I think as we develop and as we get more people, I think honestly there'll probably be more people involved after things take off with the Ethereum land, because they're the ones that like I think are kind of going to want to have more influence over how that distinguishes itself from what we're doing in Wax, right? And then I'm interested to see the kickback in Wax, where they say, okay, well, wait, they're doing that, but we want to do this, and you can have that. You can have those different directions in a sense, right? Up to a certain point, right? As long as you're not fucking with the economy or messing shit up, right? Like this would be really interesting to see how people structure that. I think. I mean, if it was up to Corey, he would just like kill anything that hums in the night because he doesn't like to.
Yeah, actually this is on final. The creeper hit point damage on Borvalis to be switched on. So basically, so that creepers can kill you. Yeah, I would definitely vote against that. But like, I don't hang out in Borvalis a lot, so like, even with my player account, I'm not gonna vote against this just because.
Yeah, see,
if people feel strongly about it, I'm like, fucking go to town. I'll just get an armed guard, which I have to do every time I go to.
Right. Yeah. So I think like that's quite interesting because a lot of people in the community they've found their kind of home ground, right? Like I've been spending a lot of time in gratitude, right? There's a lot of people who are over in Uplift, like, so I'm the same as you, right? Like, I'm not going to vote to block that. Like, I don't care. I mean,
yeah, I've been hanging out. I mean, other than doing the work with the Times Square thing, and that's just putting pictures up. It was Russ that built the whole thing. In case anyone's curious about it, like that, I could never build anything that cool, not in a million years. But doing the dome, like I'm starting to get pretty excited about, just what that is going to represent, like what the dome complex is going to look like in a year when we're on 5 chains, right? And there's hopefully 100 partner projects per little dome per blockchain. I think it's going to be at least 50. It's going to be exciting, man. Like that's just it works. We're sort of building a monument to the work that we're trying to do this year. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
So I mean, other than that, like, the market's gonna be the market. I think that we're really getting excited. We've got a few more spaces left for embassy plots, if I recall correctly. And I guess if they don't all go, they don't all go. But if you're out there, you happen to be listening to this back, and a good project that you think would be a good kind of embassy candidate on an Ethereum world, let us know, because we definitely want to plug that in. I'm gonna have a hard time picking my favorite, because there's some pretty freaking epic builds. Right?
Yeah.
Rocket Gallery 2.0 is pretty awesome. Oh man,
we should actually go to there.
I've seen the demos for what's going to be going in as the Mong headquarters. That's pretty wicked. I mean,
that's brilliant.
Might have had something a little bit to do with that one, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, that's I'm cool. Excited to see what who was it? Kawakami NFTs. We had them on the show last week, and they walked through one of their up-off plots, which is just like amazing, right? Like, I'm excited to see what they pull together. Definitely going to be some cool builds in there for sure. And we're doing something new as well, like the Ethereum build, which is creative. There's not going to be any rails in that server, because you can, it's creative. You can fly around, and you don't really need them for transport. So that's a first. The other first, I think, which is quite interesting, which is coming up very soon, is where the rails that are going into DGen 1, we're actually having a creative rail contest to get people to plug their own rail designs out there and see what kind of rail designs. And it's quite interesting. I don't know if you've been following what people have been doing with it. I have a little bit, but it's fun. People are kind of moving off the rails a little bit, right? There's been rail designs that have been talked about that are coming through with like a side chute that's like packed ice. So you've got another avenue for transportation along those rails as well, which is really cool. I like it. I mean, that's pretty flippin'. Yeah. That's pretty flippin' rockety, man.
The Rocket Gallery is a giant BFR.
Oh, it's great. Love it. Morning, Jordan. I'll be back in a second.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we're starting to, as you can see, we're starting to get some. Sorry for the noise. They're doing some stuff over here. Oh, hey, it's Ken's new house. What's up, Ken's new house? Yeah, we're starting to get a bunch of people on here. We have the first family of NFTs. That's Josh and Heidi from NFT the movie. This is the cow comic. Like, what an epic freaking piece of land!
Right, that's really good too.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
Right on the cliffside.
Yeah, right. Like,
that'd be great.
A little jelly. I'm not gonna lie. Man, I'm sure glad I can fly. All these guys would be freaking murking me right now.
Yeah, I like it too, because I went in there the other day to go check out the Rocket Gallery, and I've got no mod powers in there, and just going up the steps to the Rocket Valley, I'm like, God damn it, if I had to go through that valley just to get back up here and die, right? So whoever owns this valley, I mean, what you need to do is you need to build a bridge across, because that'll get you a lot of traffic, and the rewards are going to be epic, man. I'm gonna definitely use it.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is a good spot for hustle too. Cool.
Yeah, it looks really good at night, actually.
And this is the Dapper Gents.
They were supposed to be on our show a couple weeks ago, but I think we had to reschedule because of NFT NYC. So hopefully we'll get them on soon. They're pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, DGen's still got some room. So again, if anyone knows any projects with some Ethereum exposure, let me know. Because I wanna finish off getting the at least the list done as fast as
Hey,
I can.
is there a void plot?
I mean, DGen. I talked to Sebastian about it yesterday. Or I messaged him about it yesterday. There isn't yet.
We kind of need one.
I mean, dude, I kind of want to make one my fucking self.
Yeah, why don't we just look after that? Maybe we should do that because I've got a couple of those other ones as well. Like that's
Lisa, that's a good idea. Marisol Vengas from we could do that. The only worry that I would have there, Lisa, is I know Max is just really, really busy. But you know, if there's anybody that would build it out, we can make it work.
Yeah, I agree, Jordan. The signs are pretty
NFT kids. This is like the Rocket Gallery corner. So he hooked us up with NFT kids. They did that amazing. Oh, Lisa. All right, cool. All right, well, I'll make it happen then. You know, connected us with NFT kids they did that amazing event on the plot that he built for them. Where's that? Is that plot in Genesis or where is that?
Yeah, it's in Genesis. It was a pretty cool event, and we had a few actually guest articles that talked about the event and how much they loved it as well. But
and could you interviewed Rainbow Mosho, right?
I did. Well, actually, no. I interviewed Rainbow Mosho's mom, which is interesting. But we do actually. This is funny that you said that because I just actually opened up my browser and it was stuck on the NFT Kids article because I was reading that again today. But yeah, I interviewed Rainbow Mosho's mom, and we're probably gonna have her back on the show at some point to actually sit down with Rainbow Mosho. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It's quite fascinating to hear what she had to say. So if you don't know who Rainbow Mosho is, I think she's a 14-year-old artist. She's on the autistic spectrum a little bit. Yeah, she's just done some really interesting things with her life because of art. Her mom was really cool hearing about, the backstory and where they kind of came from and how they moved into NFTs. It was pretty amazing, actually. There is the link for the NFT Kids Gallery in Genesis, if you want to check it out. It's pretty mind-blowing, actually, the way that it was structured. And you kind of like can take a portal in there and then you take a bit of a leap of faith and you bounce off of a slime block when you land on the ground, which is pretty cool, after a sign that says art should be fun, which is pretty awesome. So that was well done, Corey. I'm impressed. You read the sign, and on the turn you turned 365 degrees very easily.
Yep.
I think you're focused on flying, or that was just way too bad. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm not that cool. Oh yeah, I forgot we got DeFi lunch in here. That's awesome. I love those guys. In their pod a couple times. So yeah, starting to get filled up on Ethereum. A few more spots left. But man, talk about the freaking I still think this is the one to beat.
Yeah, this is a great, and these guys are doing some great things too. They're kind of going through a bit of a rebrand as well, and working on doing a bunch of really cool things. some of it having to do with Newcoin. It's pretty sweet. They've got some really stellar artists, and some awesome connections in the art and NFT space. They've done shows already with people like Vogue and things like that. So definitely something we're checking out.
Man, this feels like pretty immersive.
It's really well
That's
done.
Fun.
I like it. Gary put a great video together on their builds, but that's one of my favorite ones actually. That's something weird about that.
Yeah, that's fucking.
So
I want a selfie with that one.
So sometimes, like my daughters too, and sometimes she doesn't want to do what we tell her, especially when it goes to like going to bed or things like that, right? Now, Japanese people, they have this weird thing where once a year, the father dresses up, in a red devil costume, which is like, quite realistic and pretty freaking scary. Probably if you're two, and he knocks on the door, and he knocks on the door, and he comes in the house, and he tries to get you to be good, and you're supposed to throw beans at his head and stuff. And my friend did it. This whole festival thing, right? My friends did it, and like his kid was like freaking out, and he went and got the baseball bat, and like he's trying to protect mommy. Like it was really weird. Anyway, we never did that because I kind of think it's a little bit weird. But my missus, sometimes she calls the devil on the phone and says, Aurora won't go to bed, she won't go to sleep or whatnot. So today I was like flipping through OpenSea, and I was checking out some of the I'm a degen, the Void I'm a degen plots, and my daughter comes around the corner and she climbs up in my lap and she starts using this really deep devil voice. About how like the devils are coming and they're going to get angry if she doesn't go to bed. And I started looking at I'm a degen, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I could totally see that like freaking a kid out. It's like some of the ones with the tattoos and stuff.
Right.
It's pretty funny. That little red devil picture with the astronaut kind of reminded me of that in the meta art gallery that you just flew by.
I think we got to try and get Gary to do one of his opus things. I like that on every floor they've got the meta art QR code. I think it was almost every floor.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go. Man, that's cool too. Man, that's just
they've got some amazing artists over there and some like really cool stuff. So definitely, I should pull up their website.
We got our Salmon NFT the movie up here.
Yeah, this is their website. Although if you come back in like a week, it's going to be way better.
That's pretty good.
What is that?
This is Masters of the Bitcoin.
That's really good, actually. Dude, that's like... Those boxes look great.
Yeah. They turned out.
I almost want to put, I almost...
Love this one.
I almost want to put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sea lanterns in front of each character.
Oh, yeah?
And then put another image of the character so it actually is a 3D box.
That's funny.
That would be pretty epic. I wonder if it would work out that way. That'd be pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah. Yep. Good old 8 swap. Anyway. Yeah, so
I think
there's lots going on.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do another happy hour this week for anyone who's interested.
Yes.
And you're planning on doing it over in the dome that we started the show off with, right?
Yeah, what I would love to do is not only do it there, but again, we did all the work to get all the Twitter QR codes for all the projects up there, yeah, just to have like a giant Twitter raid party and throw a bunch of selfies up and tag all the projects and just generally make a whole lot of happy noise. Have a couple of beverages and call it a night. It seemed like it'd be pretty fun.
Wow, yeah, that seems really cool. I like it. So, yeah, and I mean, Twitter Spaces is, always a fun place to be, especially when you got a metaverse to run around in. So I would encourage any projects out there that want to do their own Twitter Spaces in the metaverse. You can do that, and definitely tag us because if one of us is awake, we'd love to come and check that out.
Yep. Yeah, it's good times. Good times.
So yeah,
this basically the 7 days running up to the auction date. I guess we'll start like plan it out for another couple 3 days and then kick it off. Is it Wednesday today?
It's Wednesday today.
Thank you. Things have been very, very blurry. Like yesterday was like the first day, so we had family down for the July 4th weekend. So we were kind of entertaining and stuff. Getting a little bit done, but like yesterday was the first day where I could just sit down and actually like just grind out some shit.
It's been
kind of nice.
First week of July, first weekend of July is always a little bit, trying, I would say. I mean, like, temperatures aside, but get outside, get some sun, go for a walk. It's always important.
Yep.
You didn't work hard to get that summer body and then just drink it away inside in the summer. That's what I was.
I still need to get my summer body. Step one, get summer body. I have more of like a winter, very fat bear body going on right now.
Dude, I need to. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going back to Canada. I'm going to be live streaming from my parents' garage for the simple reason that like I'm going to be able to open up the windows and get some sunshine, and hopefully as soon as the computer closes, go outside and take a walk around. And the benefits.
The whole idea that you're going to be on this continent excites me.
Yeah,
it's fun.
North America bound. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited. All right, well, you guys out there in the world, go and be awesome. Remember that the metaverse is here. Fair enough. I mean, we know where you live, and we know where you live, and I think I might have to beef up for the winter too. But yeah, like definitely, if you know any more projects that, thanks Lisa for that shout out. But if you guys are out there listening, ping Corey, ping me, ping anyone else on the team. Feel free to tag us in the official Discord, and definitely, if you haven't done it, go and check out some of those DAO proposals and cast your vote.
Right. I was thinking too, like I wonder how much, if it would make sense, like probably not like necessarily as a short-term thing, but like just seeing the DAO operate, right? And we're still really new at this as a community. Like this is still something that we're kind of sorting out on the fly. But there's so much interest in DAOs all over the place. Like having a weekly sort of like, this is what it's like to be in a DAO AMA for people that have never been in one before might be, it might be a good way to onboard people to the Uplift, but it might just be a good way to kind of serve the community writ large, right? I don't know. I'll have to ponder that some more.
No, I like it. Like at one point in time, I was thinking about, at one point in time, I started this series called How to DAO, where we're just kind of teaching people a little bit, about it. And at one point in time, I was thinking about like just doing a weekly recap or something about all the proposals, but a little bit busy with other things. And even if I wasn't, it's a really hard thing to write. So maybe we should just take 15, 20 minutes out of one episode every week. We should just go through like the weekly proposals that people have thrown up, the things that people are talking about, right? And maybe just take 20 minutes on a show and do that sometime. Like,
yeah, I think Monday mornings, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I wonder if like, people will set up their cadence so that they, it doesn't get missed. But that's a really good idea anyway. I think like, and running through them and having, you know, community discussion about it if anybody's around in the morning. That's super fun.
Yeah, and like a lot of people
We should actually go through. Well. Sorry, finish. I'm sorry. Finish.
No, a lot of people are missing it as well, right? Like they're busy in the game, they're busy in the Discord. They don't necessarily go over to pop over and you know, check out what's there, right? Which would be good.
And then we could even look at the DAO proposals that are in like I think there's like the workshop channel on Discord now too, right? Like the stuff that hasn't even gone to vote yet, like the people are still kind of messing around with, because it'd be cool to kind of just lay those ideas out, because people might have ideas about them, might want to go into the doc and make some comments, some edits or whatever. Yeah, let's escalate that to just fucking get her done.
All right, next Monday morning, if we don't have a panel, we'll be doing that.
Cool. All right, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of all of these gallery plots. I'm excited for this week's Twitter Spaces. I'm not sure, you know, where Corey and I are kind of bouncing in and out last week or so. Busy on the back end doing other things. You know, we're not going anywhere. We just really excited about bringing a whole other ecosystem into the ecosystem that we've been a part of, right? Like this is where Wax and Ethereum come together. I mean, all of these IBC protocol platforms that say that they're going to fix the blockchain industry that never go anywhere because everyone's a maximalist. Now, all of you maximalists have a place to come, a place to hang out, a place to jump through a portal into a PvP arena and kick some freaking ass of all those blockchain people that you just really can't stand anymore because your blockchain's the best. The Uplift World, PvP events every weekend. You have a chance to do that. And yeah, you should definitely take advantage of kicking people's asses from blockchains that you don't like. Only in the Uplift World metaverse.